Hello Linux fans, Rob here and welcome to Linux Quest. It's been a busy month in the Linux news world with all of the Ubuntu releases and their spin-offs, and so lots to see there. But one thing I've been following closely is ChromeOS. Now many of you will argue that ChromeOS is not a real Linux operating system. It is Linux based. It's using the Linux kernel. In fact, some people will argue it's the most widely used Linux-based operating system, and if you look at the numbers of ChromeOS, it's hard to argue with. But anyway, whatever your take is, what I find interesting is it's now official that ChromeOS will be able to use Linux apps. It was officially mentioned in the Google I/O keynote, and but before we get into all of this, I just want to give a shout out here to a website I've been following. These guys really do a great job about everything ChromeOS, and they also have an excellent podcast. So I'll put a link here, but it's chromeunboxed.com. So if you've got interest in this, please check out their website. And again, they've got an excellent podcast. So Linux apps running in ChromeOS. To me, this is huge news. Why is it huge news? Well, ChromeOS has come a long way, from just a internet browser-based operating system running the Linux kernel to an operating system that allows you to use Android apps. And now that fills the gap for a lot of power users. For some folks, just doing everything through a web browser is just fine. But if you look at how power users use their system, typically they need applications that are resident on the operating system and applications that give them full file access, things like that. So when Google opened ChromeOS up to the Android store, and you're seeing that now on more and more systems, Chrome boxes, anything released over the last year or so now has Google Play support. That really changed the operating system, and I believe that it's taken it to another level for users out there. You're starting to see more growth. Certainly growth in the school system. So adding in Linux apps to the mix is huge. So how's this going to work? Well, it's going to be in pretty much a wrapper called Crostini, Crostini, and this has been talked about for several weeks now. I've been following this, reading every story I could find on it to see what all was in play here. And so from what I gather, the way this works, they started out, using a Linux terminal app and opening that up in a wrapper. And then it went from that to getting full file access, so read-write file access onto the system, which is a big step. Then they started adding in theming, and they pulled that over from Linux Desktop's popular themes that they were using for the apps and everything. So that was looking promising. But there was nothing really official until yesterday, I believe, at Google I/O keynote, where they mentioned that, let me go down to it, says we're expanding ChromeOS to support developers with the ability to securely run Linux apps on ChromeOS. And then they went on to talk about, I believe, that it's initially going to be available on the Google Pixel notebook, and then it'll expand out from there. But they're talking about full-on access within a wrapper, but it's going to act just like a standard app where you'll have an icon on your taskbar if you desire. You'll be able to launch a window, minimize the window, move the windows around just like a resident app. And I, for one, think this is nothing but a terrific thing for Linux, because if you look at it from the standpoint of there are tons of users out there growing more every day. In fact, in North Carolina, where I live, it was just announced that middle schoolers will all have Chromebooks. So not only will they have access to, Google Play apps, to the Android App Store, now hopefully in the near future they'll have access to Linux apps. And for power users, or maybe there's a teacher there that, is familiar with Linux, and there's a specific app in Linux that they think would be a useful tool for whatever purpose that they have there in school, that's going to give young minds and users access to Linux applications early on, and may increase interest in what is going on with other Linux operating systems. So tying this all in, I just see this as a win-win-win. So it's exciting, and I for one have a tremendous amount of interest in this as far as maybe getting a Chromebox or a Chrome-based or ChromeOS-based laptop, and investigate using this as a full-time operating system and see how things go. Now, I may wait till we see more about how fully supported Linux apps will be. Will it include everything? How's it going to be presented? Will it come through the Play Store? Will it, how will you install the apps? Will it be via Snap? And I haven't dug into all of that yet. Anyway, with all of that said, I am very interested in your thoughts. So, love to see your comments down below. What ideas you have about it. Is it good? Is it bad? Are you excited about it? Those kinds of things. So look forward to hearing from you. And as always, thanks for watching.